All right, guys, welcome back to episode 11 of the Lay Down podcast. I'm, of course, joined by my co-host, Lenny B,
What's
on an
up?
extremely busy night of NFL news.
Night. It's been more like 3 days, but it
Yeah,
feels like
3 days,
it
half
feels
a week.
like I guess it does feel like one night. It feels like everything just happened at
We've
once.
gotten more NFL news in the last 3 days than we have in like the 4 weeks that we've had since the Super Bowl.
My favorite news has nothing to do with anything anyone's talking about. Corey Littleton finally got cut. I'm so happy. I'm so happy we got that guy off
Yeah,
the team, bro. So happy.
that
Best
that's
news.
definitely the highlight for the Raiders
I
right
think
now.
we got like $11 million in cap space from it, so like definitely a W.
Our wide receiver one got suspended for betting. We'll talk about that
Calvin
tomorrow.
Ridley, oh boy.
Um, but the it's been some huge stuff today. Or not
Huge
today,
stuff.
but like in the last couple days. Russell Wilson got traded. Khalil Mack got traded.
Oh.
But
Carson Wentz got
again,
traded.
Carson Wentz got traded.
Bobby Wagner got cut. Calvin
Bobby
Ridley got
Wagner got
suspended.
cut.
Yeah,
Calvin
we'll
Ridley
talk
got
about it. All of
suspended
it.
again.
Kyle Van Noy got cut too.
But of course, we have to
No one
start
cares though.
with the man that demands attention every single day. There's a new story. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. I think we both thought he'd stay, and he is.
I was torn. I think at the beginning of the offseason, I'm like, there's no way he's staying. And then like by the end, I'm like, dude, he's gonna stay, isn't he? I was so disappointed about it. I was like, I just wanted him to do anything else. Like that was like, for me as a fan, that's worst case scenario because it's just boring.
All right, so Lenny, take me through because I know when he did this, you were really pissed. So
I'm
take me
not as
through
pissed about
why.
it anymore, but I can tell you why I was so
Just
pissed
just
about it.
take me through
So,
your overall thoughts.
as a fan of like going all in and trying to win a Super Bowl, like specifically trying to win a Super Bowl, I just despise the Packers organization. I hate it. I hate everything that they do. They I mean like in 2020, right? They have they just went to this NFC Championship game, even though it was a little fluky, whatever. They got Matt LaFleur his first year as a coach. I mean, like Aaron Rodgers is still on a relatively fine deal. I mean, like, and they go out there and draft Jordan Love, and then it's like, okay, you drafted Jordan Love. All right, you made this decision. Like, commit to it. Commit to the decision that you just drafted Jordan Love. Like, and then the next 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers just like, uh, you guys aren't gonna make me leave. That's not gonna happen. And they just, it feels like Aaron Rodgers literally just bitched the hell out of the Packers
Here's
organization
what I
and
can I
was
can I
just
just say?
forced them to keep him.
Can I just say? Here's what I think happened. I don't think part of it may have been his complaining, but I think you've got to take yourself back to 2 years ago. I don't know if you remember the conversation or not, but we were done. Like we were basically done with Aaron Rodgers as an elite quarterback after 2019.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I
No, no,
wasn't like in the
his
mix at that time.
statistics had declined for like 3 straight years.
Oh,
He had
okay.
not won an MVP in 5 years.
Oh
So
God, 5 years. Oh, sorry.
I
Just
know, but
hindsight,
no,
hindsight.
for how because I know you weren't in an NFL time at the time, but from like 2010 to 2016, Aaron Rodgers was literally like that
God on
was
earth.
he made throws that no like people say, oh, he made throws nobody else could ever make. That's not entirely inaccurate. Like some of the throws he made were insane, and he was playing at a very high level. And then he started declining all of a sudden, and you didn't see that as much. And I think the Packers thought that Rodgers was declining. I don't think they thought he'd play as well as he has the last 2 years. And I don't think they thought they'd go 13-3 2 straight years.
No, I definitely agree. It's just like I hate that they made a decision and they just totally backtrack from it in every single possible way. And what they've gotten themselves into is in like a half and half decision to where they spent a first round draft pick on Jordan Love in a draft class where you had like T. Higgins, Justin
Or like
Jefferson,
10
all these
receivers.
all these great receivers in this freaking draft class. And they pick a quarterback when the reason they lost this year was because they didn't have a second receiver. And the reason they lost last year was because they didn't have a second receiver. And the reason that they've lost last 2 years is because they haven't had a second receiver besides Devontae Adams. And now they're seeing the consequences of that decision. And on top of that, OBJ wide open the free agent market. They could have definitely picked him
He
up
wanted
this
to
year. He
come.
wanted to go to Green Bay, and then they're like, "No, we're good. We're good." They would have won the Super Bowl this year with OBJ. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that.
That may have sent of the Lombardi Trophy currently in Los Angeles could very
If
easily
they
be in Green Bay.
drafted one of the receivers, one of them that were available at that point, that was okay. I got to look up the list right now. I'm gonna wait. Can you look it up while it's
Yeah, I
like the
can.
list of
Hold on.
receivers open? But I know there's good enough. I know T. Higgins would have been a good pick there, and I don't think anyone would have complained about it. And if they just did anything aggressive, anything relatively like it's not even like a big deal to draft a receiver there, right? Isn't that big of a deal? I mean, like
No.
you please Aaron
So,
Rodgers there. You stick with
um,
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like it just baffles me. This organization baffles me. It just like if it,
so some of the receivers
God,
drafted after Jordan Love, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman. Say what you
oh
want, I think
man,
he's a horrible human being, but he's a good player. Chase
Pittman?
Claypool.
Oh,
No,
Claypool.
Chase
I
Claypool.
was gonna say like, what did Pittman do to you?
No, Pittman hasn't done anything. Chase
Pittman's
Claypool
cool.
is still better than anyone they have outside
He would be a
Adams,
good
though.
second option. He would be a good second option.
He
A
could
good
like
yin yang.
make jump balls. Even Van Jefferson's probably better.
Those are the
Um,
guys open. I
yeah,
mean,
those are the guys drafted after
T Higgins would have been perfect there, right? I mean,
Higgins
like,
or Pittman.
or Pittman. Pittman would have been good too. But like, okay, so like, bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that they're so unaggressive, and it just they could have won a Super Bowl in the last 2 years, in my opinion, and they've totally blown it. They've just blown it. And they had an opportunity to walk away from Aaron Rodgers and be like, you know what? We have the coach, we have a great roster, and we have a quarterback that we believe in. And we're gonna start anew and we're gonna try to rebuild for a new Super Bowl roster, and we're gonna try to fix the past mistakes that we did before. No, you just made it worse by signing
Honestly,
Aaron
with Jordan
Jones.
Love, Lenny, like I still think they may win the division.
I know I'm not. I don't even think they'd be that bad with Jordan Love. I think they
Me,
like
me
would have been
either.
fine. Point is like they 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 signed Aaron Jones after getting AJ Dillon, which AJ Dillon's a pretty good running back. But that's another thing. They drafted him in the second round, AJ Dillon, when they still could have picked a receiver there. They probably could have picked up like Van Jefferson or literally anybody, and they picked a running back. And when they picked that running back, they decided not to freaking. They just re-signed the one they had before for like 5 years or something like that. I mean, like it's like they tried to make a split, and they tried to like make sure long term success was going to be here, and they totally just blew it. They just blew it. And every single and Aaron Rodgers is the big reason like why. I guess they bet against Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the main point I tried to say. They bet against Aaron Rodgers. They lost, and they basically just pussied out at the end. Or like, okay, fine, you win. Like they basically held on. Like they had all their cards right, and they're like, I'm all in. And then Aaron Rodgers is like, I call your bluff, and they're like, I'm out. I'm out. Oh, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah,
it feels like. It's just so annoying to me.
yeah, that's definitely fair. I'm gonna take this from the Aaron Rodgers perspective. Honestly, like I thought he would resign from the very beginning of the offseason to now. Like you're in a division that is absolutely awful. Like the Bears are rebuilding clearly especially after the Mack trade. The Lions are rebuilding. The Minnesota Vikings are kind of rebuilding.
They're kind of like reloading. I think is that the way I'd say it.
Plus, you're like almost always better than the Vikings, anyways, with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
you're gonna easily win that division again. And honestly, in the NFC, the only team that should like really scare you right now is the Rams. And the Rams, I don't think will be as good next year.
The Niners, if Trey Lance is good, but we don't know that. So yeah, I'd say the only
But
definitive team would be
look, I
the
understand you've got to
Rams.
respect the Niners because they've beaten you 4 straight years in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, or 4 straight times, excuse me. I think actually they may have beaten them 5 straight times because of the old the Terrell Owens play in '98. But
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
the point is, like, outside of the Rams, if I'm a Packers fan, I'm not scared of anybody in that conference.
I think Packers fans
Um,
are scared of the Niners, but I don't think the organization is. But yeah, I get your point. I get your point.
so I understand coming back because like they are as funny as like and as memeable as the playoff losses over the years have mounted for Aaron Rodgers. It's it's still they still have they're still one of the five best teams in the league with him.
I personally just don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't I don't
I don't think so.
if you
I just
made
don't
me
think it's
pick
going to.
right now, no, because and I think part of that has to do with Aaron Rodgers in a weird way, as great as he is.
I know he didn't
But
get signed to that mega contract, but he'll get a big contract anyway.
he's going to get a big contract. But like when I saw him get a 4-year, $200 million extension, I'm like, bro, this is why I've never ever liked like I've always like it's always been hard for me to say Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are on the same level. Like, cause like, do you think Tom Brady would sign a 4-year, $200 million extension?
It depends if
Hell
like they
no,
offer. I don't
Lenny.
think that. No, I think if they offered it, I think he'd consider it. If his rookie
Bro.
year, he would have. If his rookie year,
Okay, maybe his rookie year. You think Tom Brady in the last 12 years of his career would have signed it?
probably not. But it's. I mean, to be fair, just to be fair, if you saw a contract in front of you, it said that you just get $200 million. I mean, like,
I'm just saying though, like
I, I
this
don't think he
whole
pushed
thing
for it.
about
He
money,
wouldn't
all of
push
this
for it.
stuff,
He wouldn't push for it. Is
threatening
what
to
I'm saying.
become the Jeopardy host, was that because of money?
He should have just been the Jeopardy host. He was
Wasn't
better
just
at that.
like saying, "Oh, I'm 50-50 on retirement." Was that just because of money? Like, what's the point? Was like the whole thing on draft night last year, completely hijacking every single storyline on draft night when it was supposed to be all these kids getting drafted and we were supposed to celebrate them. Instead, the only thing everyone's talking about is, oh, is Aaron Rodgers going to Denver or is he going to San Francisco? Like, what the hell is happening here? So this guy, like his,
He's kind of like a pseudo intellectual
I've
too.
used to make fun of Mitch for his Rodgers hate, and I still think some of it's unfair, but like part of it is fair. Like part of it is fair.
I
The guy
understand the
does
reasoning
love
why.
attention.
I just
The
don't
guy
have
does love
like
attention, and I understand
hate.
everybody loves attention, and I get that. I don't think Peyton Manning or Tom Brady needed the amount of attention Aaron Rodgers seems to need, and they were more
No,
successful than he was.
probably not. I I like how we like haven't even talked about the ramifications of like signing this. We're just complaining.
I mean,
But
we know what the ramifications. Like
the
they're gonna
ramifications of this is
lose
that
Darius Smith most likely.
they're gonna get it worse as a roster. Okay, one thing, just real quick, I want to mention is that I am like 99% sure that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play this good again. Because number one, the motivation isn't there anymore. He played that good because he just hated the Packers, and he's like, I want to come back. So like, I'm going to prove to you how good I am. And since he's going to get a contract, I don't think that's going to be a motivation for him anymore.
He
And
is
number
also
two,
like 30.
it's
He's
hard to
turning
be.
39.
It's going to be insanely hard for him to play like an MVP for the next 3 or whatever as long as contract's going to be. So you're paying him to play like an MVP, but the likelihood of him playing like an MVP is like pretty low, I'd say, in like the next
But
couple of years.
even if he's not an MVP, he's still going to be like one of the 5 best quarterbacks
Oh
in the
no,
league, at
probably. I
least.
mean, we'd assume like yeah, like 99, like 90%
And at
sure he
least
probably.
like, but like right now, fourth quarter, game on the line, Super
Give me
Bowl. Would
Derek
you
Carr.
rather
Give
have
me
Aaron
Derek Carr.
Rodgers or Matt Stafford?
Give me Derek Carr. No, let's see. Yeah, I'd rather have Stafford.
See, and like I think we both agree, Aaron Rodgers is definitely a better quarterback than Matt Stafford, but. It's just this thing, man. I think Aaron Rodgers has turned into Brett Favre as the years have gone on.
Right favor. Oh man.
I do. Like just
He
all
love.
the constant retirement talk, all the constant like the remember Favre like he left the Packers and then he left for the Vikings and it was this whole thing. I think and then they also in the playoffs like they have these great regular seasons. I remember in 2007 Packers went or because I wasn't there but like I've looked back and studied it. The Packers went 13-3 and they lost at home in the NFC title game to the Giants as a huge favorite. And that literally watching Rodgers last year against San Francisco reminded me of that. It felt like that. So
Interesting.
I'm just kind of sick of Aaron Rodgers, and I have been since the Niners playoff loss. All of the criticisms of him have been some of them are unfair, but some of them have been proven fair over the
I
years.
think I don't think it's 100% either way, like roster or defense wise, and his just level of play in the game or whatever else. But I think it's like you definitely have to blame both sides. I think you definitely have to blame Rodgers for some of it. Um, we both seem to hate the Packers in some form of fashion. Since Aaron Rodgers seems like he's going to be a Packer for a while now, I guess we both have different reasons for hating the Packers, and but we still hate the Packers. So I guess the Packers are the most hateable team in the NFL. I guess. Um, is there anything else I want to mention before Ultra comes back? No, I don't really think so. I think Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he annoys me as much as he probably does Ultra. I think he's just like a normal dude. I think he's just kind of a whack job. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. He's not like an NFL player in my opinion. He's kind of more like some weird. It's I don't know. It's hard. Some weird like attention whore. I don't think he's an NFL player in that circumstance, but like I don't know. I don't hate him really. I just kind of like think he's whatever. I don't really like him or dislike him. I think he's kind of funny. I don't really hate him though. Um, I remember when he was rocking that freaking what was it, the goatee for a while. That was pretty gross. I thought that he looked terrible. He had like a freaking homeless stash, bro. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm all dressed up, by the way, we're gonna talk about it. I'll talk about it when we get to like Russell Wilson and stuff. Um. Oh yeah, we'll also talk about
Give
why
me one
on my
second. Hold on.
I'll talk about why on my whiteboard I have Y everywhere. Um. I guess while Ultra's leaving, I'll talk about my favorite movie, The Batman. Um. I don't know if you guys watched this movie. Spoilers, by the way, probably. This movie's freaking amazing. Like, it's just a pure Batman movie, and I freaking love it. It's just, it takes so many aspects of what we call Batman and recontextualizes them in such like interesting ways that we haven't seen in cinema before. When you think about um, Bruce Wayne being an orphan, and you think about how yeah, spoilers, the Riddler was an orphan in this movie. You don't think about how even if it was hard for Bruce Wayne to be an orphan at that age, how hard it would be for literally anyone else that didn't have millions of dollars at their disposal and a butler that is basically their dad, and um, it recontextualized a lot of those same ideas in really interesting ways. Sorry, I was just talking about the Batman because I couldn't think of anything
No,
to
it's
talk about
fine.
the
It's fine.
Packers.
So is that it for Rodgers then? I don't think there's much to talk
Uh,
about.
I yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Rodgers. I just kind of think he's kind of a nut job who I don't think he's that weird. I think he's a weird guy. No, I don't think he's that bad of a dude. I just think he's kind of he just
I
wants
don't think he's a bad
attention.
person. I just think he's
No,
weird.
I think he's a weird guy and he wants attention. And so like I don't really hate that. I'm just kind of like you're just not like a normal guy. Like I just look at that like it is. I don't really think he doesn't like do anything bad on purpose or like directly. So like whatever, I guess. But yeah, you want to talk about Russell Wilson now? Is that the next thing we're talking about?
Yes. Okay. Russell Wilson
Ah,
is now a
God.
Denver Bronco.
Oh, look at that. That's
Let
all
me
my
look up the trade
feelings.
deal details
All my
real quick.
all my feelings. Drew Lock got freaking packaged.
So the Broncos have agreed to trade quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, two 2022 first-round picks, two second-round picks, and a fifth-round pick to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson and a 2022 fourth-round pick.
All I'm gonna say about the trade and like how much they lost is they better freaking do something this season. They better. Like you can't give up that much and like not win a playoff game. You have to at
So
the bare minimum. You have to win a playoff game. In my opinion,
what are your thoughts on the Russell Wilson trade?
I think it is. really interesting because there's conflicting feelings because as a Niner fan, I'm like, let's go get this freaking guy out of the division. He's owned us for so
By the
long.
way, he's when Lenny says he's owned us, he's literally 17-4 against the Niners.
The only two wins I can remember is the NFC Championship game and the 2019 game where we freaking barely
Y'all lost
stopped
in
him
the
on the
NFC
one
title
yard
game.
line.
That was the
Wait, oh no, you're right. Oh, never mind. I can't think of another one. The only one I can think of is the 2019 one where we barely beat them freaking because Dre Greenlaw's a beast. But yeah, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson have just been like the most sad thing for the Niners. It's like you're just walking in there and you're just like, all right, free loss. We don't even have to like I don't even have to invest in this game. I know we're gonna lose. And a lot of it was because of Russell Wilson just like pulling stuff out of his ass, just doing crazy shit all the time. But as a Raiders fan, oh God. Now we have Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson all in the same division. And as a Derek Carr stan, I now have to deal with this. He's the worst quarterback in the division talk. And
jeez,
to
poor
me, it's such an abstract thing to say because they're all like the best, some of the best quarterbacks in football. And then you have this guy who's like borderline top 10. It's such an abstract
If he
thing.
were in the
Put him in,
AFC,
dude,
Lenny, if Derek
put him in
Carr
the
were in
AFC
the
South.
AFC South or NFC
He's the
South,
best.
he'd be way more appreciated.
He's the best quarterback in that division by far in both of those divisions. But he happens to be in this one division where they have like the best quarterbacks in football. But it's a bad thing that Carr is the worst one, right? Like, I mean, it's stupid to me. But yeah, as a Raiders fan, the defense has been terrible for so long, and I see that the new defensive coordinator Patrick Graham is going to have to scheme up against three elite quarterbacks 6 times a year now. So I'm not happy about how that might look. It's going to be like especially with all the free agents that we have like on the defense. We're going to like it's going to be a different defense this year. I don't know if it's going to be
Right.
able I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But yeah, but as a Broncos fan, if I'm looking at this, I'm like finally we did something. You know what I mean? It's like we're doing something. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I think we're going to be good, right? Like if I'm a Broncos fan, this is probably what I'm thinking like, but at least we did something because they haven't done a lot since Peyton Manning got drafted. I respect the Broncos a hell of a lot more as an
He didn't even get
organization.
drafted.
Who got drafted?
No, he chose Denver. He didn't get drafted to
Wait, he
Denver.
chose drafter? I Denver. Sorry,
Well, you remember, like, he was drafted by the Colts.
no, it's true.
He chose to go to Denver in free agency.
Huh? Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I got brain farted on that. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess for the Broncos, the only thing I'm thinking about on offense, if I'm like kind of spooked, is maybe like a lack of like one like really amazing receiver, if you know what I mean. Like they have a lot of
Yeah.
really solid receivers, but like it could be number one, they're only like seen as only solid because their quarterbacks have been like really bad for the last couple of years, or number two, they just aren't that good. And
Right.
if I feel like if they are to lose like a playoff game or if they are to like do something really bad this year and just not make the playoffs or something, I think that would be the reason like in hindsight that we'd look at it. On defense, I'm kind of like I'm shaky about the defense now because you lost Shelby Harris and I don't know. It's just and you're going to lose a lot of corners in free agency. You're taking on that cap hit from Russell Wilson. You don't have a lot of draft picks. I don't know how good this defense is without Vic Fangio. I mean, like, there's a lot of question marks on defense right now, I
There is a
think.
lot of question marks.
Like, I really like a lot of aspects. I still like Patrick Surtain. I like Bradley Chubb. I forgot what their middle linebacker was named, but he's good too. They might even get Von Miller,
Alexander
which would
Johnson.
make me cry. It would make me cry so hard if they got Von Miller too. But they got what's his name, Justin Simmons at safety. Like they have talent. It's just they lost. I don't know how good this talent is without Vic Fangio, number one. And I just don't know how big the loss of Shelby Harris is going to be for this team and their cornerbacks because, those are fairly significant losses if you look at all of it together.
Right.
So I know this team's going to be better than it was last year. For me, I think in my brain, I'm thinking 9 to 11 wins regular season just because of how tough the division is. I don't think they're going to get more than 11. and just with a lot of question marks right now, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to overcome a lot of these hurdles that I'm foreseeing. I think
Yeah.
that is everything I laid out everything that I thought
So
about this.
I pretty much agree with everything you said. I like this trade for Denver. I think Russell Wilson is still one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously, last year it wasn't as good in the end of 2020, but he, I just feel like he kind of got worn out in Seattle, and it was just like he didn't want to be there anymore.
Sierra just like tortured him. He's like, get out of Seattle.
I look at this team though, like they've got a good running back. They've got, I
Yeah,
mean,
two good
you've
running
got to
backs.
expect with better quarterback play, these receivers are going to get better, and that's
Yeah,
what they
I
now
think
have.
so.
Um, the offensive line's actually pretty solid outside of right tackle.
This is probably the best offensive line he's had since like his rookie year, maybe.
Yeah, since like 2014 for sure. The defense is like I think it could use some work for sure, but there's still a lot of pieces there to make it like a successful unit. I think mostly for defense, it depends on the defensive coordinator more than anything if he can be somewhere near Vic Fangio. But
If he makes the talented pieces just be able to go like the way Vic Fangio did, this is gonna be this. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Just make the talented players play talented, and you'll be fine. I think that's what I think about the defense.
they have about 25 million in cap room right now, so they can sign a couple more guys. And
You think they get Von Miller or no?
I mean, I can definitely see it. Um, I, I'm not sure exactly. Like, I don't know if I can because I never feel great about free agent predictions, but it's either Rams or Broncos. Like for him, in my opinion, like that's just
Probably.
how I look at it. But
Either way, I end up to play Von Miller twice a year, right? So you know.
but yeah, I like this trade for the Broncos. I think it puts them into a window of teams that can contend. But I think you're right. I don't expect them to win the division. I still think Kansas City with all that chemistry, and the Chargers now, and Denver having
And
to
those
kind of
scary
adjust.
Raiders, those scary
It'll take
Raiders, man.
it'll probably take a month because I remember the Peyton Manning Broncos in 2012 started I think 2-3, and then they
Oh,
won
really?
11 straight games to end the year.
Oh yeah,
So
Russell Wilson's been with the Seahawks for his entire career. He doesn't know what it's
yeah,
like to be anything but Seattle. This like he's not Tom Brady where you can just pick it up like that. Russell Wilson's a smart player, obviously,
even
but
Tampa
it's going to
has
be hard.
some issues adjusting to chemistry too.
It didn't take till that bye week in week 11 ish to where they really started clicking on all cylinders. So don't expect this team to like just be this incredible superstar team week one. It's going to take a bit.
They just really Seattle from the Seattle standpoint. I don't hate the trade for them, like some other people do, because they did get a lot back,
I kind of like it. I like it.
and
It
they
depends what they do
also
with
I
it.
feel they're kind of the team that like they also released Bobby Wagner. I think they have kind of accepted now, unlike the Packers, which the Packers have a way better roster. But anyways, uh, unlike the Packers, they've accepted that like, yep, our window has closed officially. Like we're done. We're gonna rebuild and we're gonna see where we go from here. And I have no problem with that.
See, I actually respect the Seahawks, even though I hate them so much. At least they were able to do that.
They're not. I mean, they're not. It's gonna be tough in that division with the Super Bowl champions in it.
They're gonna get a
And the
first round
Cardinals
pick
and
for it.
Niners are very respectable in their own right too. But I don't mind it for them. I think they're just kind of rebuilding now. I'd be interested to see what they do in the drafts, or who they get at quarterback.
They've sucked so bad in the draft. I don't even
Imagine if
think
they get Jimmy G. How
they.
funny would that be?
There's no way they trade in division, right? That's crazy.
No, but just that. Just imagine how funny that'd be.
That would be very funny.
All right,
And
so the one last thing I want to talk about, and I told you this the other day,
okay.
the impact of that play in Super Bowl
Oh,
49, the
Malcolm
Malcolm
Butler.
Butler play.
Okay. Let's hear the
7
ripple
years
effect.
later, as almost every player on that field has now left the team, for both
It's
teams
sad.
as much. is, I think that's the biggest play in NFL history. I do. I think it's above the Dwight Clark play.
You
I
think the
think
ripple
it's
effect
above the
was
Tuck rule. It's above the
okay?
Brady, like anything like that.
Immaculate reception.
I think it's above the immaculate reception. I think so. I look at it as the Seahawks are 1 yard away. Jermaine Kearse catches it off his leg, and then Marshawn Lynch has a 4 yard run to the 1 yard line. Seahawks run it in. If they score the touchdown and they win Super Bowl 49,
Mm-hmm.
they win back-to-back Super Bowls, right?
This is dynasty
And
talk at this point.
I don't think they stop. I don't. I don't know if they win like 6 Super Bowls like New England ended up winning, but I think they probably win a couple more after that. I think the level
This is
of
a heartbreaking
I think the
way
level
to
of
lose.
magnitude that loss had on them, they have never recovered
See,
since.
this is also
And I
Seattle for the last like couple. Since that play, why?
yeah, and I don't think they'll recover until Pete Carroll's gone.
I think he gets fired after this year. There's no way.
Probably. Uh, and everyone looks at it from that perspective. But if that play doesn't happen, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick would have gone 3 consecutive Super Bowl losses. They would have gone
Oh,
10 years without winning a Super Bowl.
oh.
This was before the Falcons
That
game. This was
technically that's
before the Rams
dynasty's
game.
over at that point, then, right?
The
Because
dynasty would be completely over, bro.
yeah, man, that's crazy to think about.
And knowing what we know now about how Brady and Belichick, their relationship was never great, do you think Brady could have left sooner if they hadn't won that 4th Super Bowl and then that
Hmm.
kickstarted them into 5 and 6? You know,
Would he have left sooner?
yeah. Because like
I
10
mean,
years,
if
Peyton
he
Manning started.
loses,
Remember, around the same time, Peyton Manning went to the Broncos and he started beating him. You know, so
yeah, I get what you're trying to say. It's just like I haven't really thought about it yet. That's just a hard
it's hard to
question to
say,
answer.
like,
It's
because we're
just a
like
hard
six,
question.
7 years from
I
that.
think there's a better chance if
Yeah,
that's the best. I think that's the best answer I can give you right now. There's a better chance. I don't know if I just don't know. I haven't thought about
it's
it
hard
a
to
lot.
say for
It's
sure,
very
but
hard to say.
I think it is very much in play that had that play gone differently, Russell Wilson currently has 3 rings and Tom Brady currently has 3 rings. And imagine the stuff they'd be saying about
Jerry
Tom
Rice is
Brady.
still the goat. That's
Imagine the stuff they'd say about Tom Brady. Yeah, he has 3 Super Bowls, but that was mostly off the back of defenses. Once those defenses went away, he couldn't win. You
I
know?
think I think it's funny that it took 3 historically dominant. Like if that would have happened,
Yeah,
it would have
people would have
taken
said that.
three historically dominant defenses to stop him in the Super Bowl. Like in that game, because in those games, in each individual game, it was a historically dominant performance each time. Or I guess like you know what I mean, like historically great in some
Well,
aspect.
the first one specifically was.
Wait, was 2011 not that bad or not good? I haven't looked
Wait,
into
which
like
one?
20.
What
Okay,
are you talking about?
all 3 of the Super Bowls that he would have lost at that point, not Nick Foles, because that doesn't happen in this scenario, right? So, um, both of the Giants ones and then
Yeah.
the Seahawks one, it would have taken a great defense to
A
stop
great
him.
defensive performance, yes.
So I don't know. I just think that was kind of funny. Like that would be
But
something people talk about.
I definitely think, and now you look at it, Brady has 7, Wilson has 1. So it's, it's pretty,
That's tough.
it's tough.
Tough to see. Tough.
But I like the trade for Denver. I like it for Russell Wilson, and I definitely think Seattle. I don't think
Oh,
Seattle's completely done here yet. I still think like
I just
give
remember
it a
2 things.
couple years. If they can find a quarterback, then I think they can be back. But
I find it really funny that as soon as Jamal Adams leaves the Jets, he just takes that like losing culture with him, and then the Seahawks start to suck for the first time in like 8 years, and then he starts to suck. I found out I noticed that, and I just thought it was really interesting because no one, not interesting, just really funny because no
it's
one's
hilarious.
mentioned that. I don't think anyone's mentioned that. But what was the other thing? Oh, the the freaking Broncos finally decided to get a quarterback that wasn't tall, white, and a pocket passer. They did it. They did it.
I'm so proud of the Broncos,
So
man.
proud of the Broncos. They did it.
All right, Lenny. Last thing for today. We'll do
Khalil
something
Mack, are we doing?
pretty soon, either tomorrow or the next day. But the Chicago Bears have traded Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers.
But
How do you feel as a Raiders fan?
why? Oh man, it's just so sad. I took two sucker punches in like the span of 24 hours. So like I'm at school, right? And I'm just like on my phone and I'm just like sitting down and like I'm just on Twitter and I just see this thing. It's just like Khalil Mack goes to going to the Chargers and it's like this really like okay graphic. I'm like there's no way this is real. I start scrolling down, everyone's like there's more and then there's more and then I check Discord and then it's like everyone's talking about it and I'm just sitting here like
Poor guy.
John Gruden's sins have come back to bite us once again. Once again, we're still not done paying dividends for that John Gruden contract, which is crazy to me. That his impact is still being felt, even if it wasn't directly his fault, because it's not like anyone would have guessed that. There's literally zero chance anyone could have guessed this. But yep, now we have to play the guy that we traded away 4 years ago, or yeah, 4 years ago now. That's crazy to think about. But now we got to play him 2 times a year. Now we got to play him 2 times a year. 2 times a year.
All right.
You know?
I think for the Chargers though, this officially makes
slam
them
dunk.
Super Bowl contenders.
Dude, they didn't even make the playoffs this year. I don't want to hear about Super Bowl contenders for a defensive player that was injured. No, I'm not gonna say that. This is the Chargers. Every single time that we even last year, people thought they were Super Bowl contenders, bro. I'm not gonna say they're Super Bowl.
Wait, when?
I'm still talking about
for like 1 week in October. Yeah.
Oh, bro. They lost to the Texans.
When was the last time the Chargers had When was the last time the Chargers had a great roster?
2000, maybe like 2017 even.
Okay, maybe that was a great roster, and they went like 12-4 that year. Lost to Tom Brady.
12-4.
Literally every single time I felt the Chargers been.
Oh, bro, why can't I find my charger? Whatever. Whoa. What happened? I wonder what's going on. Oh, bro, you're lagging out. What happened? What is going on? I don't know what's going on right now, bro. Anyway, the freaking Khalil Mack. Man, that makes me so sad. I'm just so sad about it, guys. Why? It's the saddest thing of all time. Never been sadder about it. Bro, why did that take me so long? If only we knew why the Chargers only gave up or only able to give up a second round pick. I'm so pissed about that. I mean, like a second round pick for Khalil Mack. Oh, there goes Ultra. So okay, I'm not crazy. All right. A second round pick, bro. Like you couldn't get more for this guy, Bears. Like, why? The second round pick? They still have their first round pick this year. And what really pisses me off about that is that they're probably going to pick Jordan Davis right before us. That's what really pisses me off about it. I really want Jordan Davis. He's a stud. I love him. He's freaking awesome.
Ran 4-8.
Ever since I watched Georgia in just in college, I was just like, this guy's gonna be awesome. I just knew. It's like a kind of Vita Vea kind of guy, where it's like you're not like looking for pass rush, but his run defense is just a total difference maker.
You can't run against it. I'm telling you, Georgia held their opponents to like 54% of their rush yards.
So yeah, I mean, if the freaking Bears were able to just get that first round pick, then I'm not that mad. But now they're going to take Jordan Davis in front of us too?
The Bears are horrendous, bro. I'm telling you.
The Bears are freaking down horrendous.
I don't think they're a good organization either.
I mean, do we have to talk about that? I mean, I think that's pretty obvious.
No, like I know they have this great history, but like no.
Okay, so for Matt Eberflus, is this not like one of the worst like first things that could have happened to
I don't
you?
know why he would want to take this job. He's not even an offensive guy.
I think it's like you see a job, and it's like you gonna get promoted to something you probably thought dreamed of your entire life. You don't care like who's telling you like where you're going. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna be a coach of our team. I don't think that's the. I think that's the only reason he took it. But
But for the Chargers, like, look, they've still got to make other moves, obviously. But like, if they play their cards right, I do think they're contenders, like, legitimately.
the big defense, I mean, the big problem with their Chargers defense last year was their lack of an impact player on the defensive line besides Joey Bosa. What they'd find themselves in situations is that they double teamed or chipped a tight end off the line on Joey Bosa, and no one else really was able to make a play, an impact play, or they'd run around Joey Bosa,
Yeah, they
or they
quick
would
game
just
them
make
to
sure that
death.
Joey Bosa was out of the field or out of the game. And you saw it against the Ravens, you saw it even against the Texans, you saw it against the Raiders, even in the end of the year. Like it just totally exposed them. Like their defense up front, their front seven without Joey Bosa. I'm saying this without Khalil Mack now, but like without Joey Bosa, who do you have? Kenneth Murray, I guess. Like he's okay, I guess.
He's
Like
not
that, it's a
really like
complete
a.
joke.
He's not what you need though.
I know exactly. It's a complete joke outside
Now
of,
they make it
I guess,
Jordan
Kenneth Murray.
Davis and Khalil Mack. You know how crazy that'd be. Now you can't run against them,
We're
or
good.
you can barely block them.
I think this is a really good move, just in general. I mean, the cap hit, I think you're fine with that because it's just how much cap space you have, right? As long as you play
Cap
your
space
cards
doesn't
right.
exist.
As long as you play your cards right, I think you'll be fine with the cap space. I don't think it's a big deal. But this is a perfect move for what this team needed. They
Think
just
about
figure out their nose tackle spot, and then this defense is looking really good on paper.
this
Like
is
on
gonna
paper,
sound this is gonna sound crazy. I think Denver and the Chargers are thinking, okay, what's gonna make Mahomes sweat, right? So having to face Russell Wilson on the opposite sideline against that regressing defense
the
is gonna
Raiders
make
are
him
just
sweat.
thinking right now, how do we mess this up?
Bro, I still think I don't even think the Raiders are a terrible team. I
No,
just think
not. It's
I just
just
think you
sad.
guys are like done because of this division.
I've said it like in 2 years ago. No, I said it in 2020. I'm like, if the Raiders played in the NFC North or like any NFC division that isn't the NFC West, like they would have made the playoffs in that division. They would have made the playoffs because they
Probably.
would have had to beat the Bears, and that was
Maybe
it.
not the NFC South.
Maybe not the NFC South. Maybe not. Actually,
No, just because
yeah,
like you guys
yeah,
have to play
probably.
us
They probably
twice, and
wouldn't have made
you
it. They
can't
probably
beat
wouldn't
us,
no,
right?
you're right. They probably wouldn't have made an NFC South. But like,
AFC South, they would have
how
made it.
unlucky are these Raiders, man? Jeez.
Bro, how does it feel that Ryan Tannehill is the best quarterback in the division
In the AFC South,
and Derek Carr's the
um,
worst quarterback in the division?
I think it's just kind of like one of those things where you look at it and you're like, why do people care? Like in terms of like people put actual value in the fact that
Yeah,
he's the
I
best
mean
quarterback
Justin
in the division.
Herbert's not the best quarterback in
If
the
Derek Carr is
division.
better than Ryan Tannehill, and Ryan
I don't
Tannehill
even think it's that
division,
close.
and he's the worst in his division, like who cares? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything.
So,
It really it's super arbitrary. Um,
is there anything
yeah,
else?
I guess the only thing I think I want to talk about regarding their defense for the Chargers is that I don't I like the problem was definitely that they didn't have a guy outside of Joey Bosa, but I think their secondary is a little lackluster too outside of
No,
Derwin
no, no.
Sam.
What I'm saying, like, I agree with you. I think they still have to make other moves before I'm willing to say, like, oh yeah, they're this like for
JC
sure Super
Jackson,
Bowl
bro.
team. But they're on the track right now.
Yeah, no,
They're
like
on the
this.
track.
I like this aggressive nature because I think they saw their big brother in the Rams go out all out on
Yeah,
Stafford and OBJ and Von Miller, and they're like, I want some of that, you
right.
know.
Right.
And yeah, I really like this move for the Chargers. I really hate this move for the Raiders.
Right. Um, all right, Lenny. Thank you for joining. Big day of NFL, or big couple of days of NFL stuff. I don't know why I keep
Just have
saying
more
day.
stuff to talk about. Bobby Wagner, Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley, freaking other stuff.
We just had to get to through like the absolute major stuff today.
This is the meat. This is the meat. Now we're gonna get to the second course.
We're
getting the potatoes.
Make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with everybody you know that would be interested, and God bless.